Hello, hello. How's everyone doing this Tuesday afternoon? Welcome to Beyond the Veil. If you have found yourself here, oh, I am Adina. Hey, Kevin. Hey, how you doing this afternoon? I'm usually on my phone. Hi, Will Wise. I'm usually on my phone recording. I am on my laptop because my phone is editing. That's good, Kevin. I'm glad you're doing good. My phone is editing Hey, JD. I'm glad at least one mod is here. I'm on my webcam because, hey, Jenny G. Hey, Jazz. Oh, hey, Jazz. Listen, I did not expect you guys to be on here with me. I thought I was going to just run through this really quick because you guys weren't going to be here and you guys would see it later. I have a 2 o'clock meeting, um, a Zoom meeting with the administrative lady from my new brokerage. And I was just recording an informational video about the F around. Hey, sissy, about the F around and find out ceremony. And so my phone is editing that. I'm going to post that as like a normal video. And anybody who wanted to participate can kind of watch that. But anyways, I was just going to come on here really quick because I had some time to spare and talk about Papoose because I don't know, he crossed my mind for some reason randomly. Yes, Will Wise, you can email me at beyondtheveiladina at gmail.com. I actually put my email in the description of this live. And if you go back to any of the regular recorded videos I've done, like the last recorded video, not the last live, but the last recorded video, it'll be in the description of that. It also should be on my profile, but it's in the description of this video and beyond the veil adina at gmail.com. Just email me, let me know the date and time that you prefer. I work that way. People like to ask me what my availability is. I work around you guys. And if you just tell me what your date and time is that you want, I confirm or deny whether I'm available. And if I'm not, I'll say, well, hey, how about this time? And that's usually how it works because I try to accommodate myself to you all. I'm so happy to see so many of you here. That's going to make this live so much more better because I see so many familiar faces. I thought I was going to come on live and do this and then just bounce. But anyways, Papoose was on my mind because I was like in the Remy and Clarissa of it all. Papoose is like my granddad, and he's like, that's why I was thinking about him because I was messing with my sister and her husband yesterday because my sister is the boss of the world. In case you guys didn't know who you guys' boss is, it's not your boss at work. It's actually my sister, my little sister Lynette. She's the boss of the world in her mind. Hey, Angel. So, in case you guys didn't know who your supervisor in life is, it's not even Jesus. If that's who you believe in, it's a her, and her name is Nettie. And forget that she's the middle child. She is the mama of even my mama. She bossed my mama. She thinks she bossed me, but I have a Taurus descendant. I just be ignoring her ass. But her husband is a Taurus, and he is very, very laid back. If she gets on his nerves, he will get in his boat and go fishing. That is his thing. That is his escape. That is his drug of choice. It ain't that's his addiction. It ain't gambling. It ain't women. Mm-mm. 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 Because he loved being around his family and his kids, and he loved my sister Dirty Draws. But when she get the bossing too much, he will get on that boat and go in the waters, and he'll go every day if she don't check him. So he was telling me, I saw some people at the beach yesterday, and he was telling me Her middle name is Lynette, but that's what we call her. Her name is Andrea. All my mom's kids have A names: Adina, Andrea, and Alicia. But I'm Dina. Andrea is Lynette or Nettie for short, and Leisha is Leisha. um, but I saw some people fishing on the beach, and I was asking him, I was like, I didn't know people fish on the beach. I didn't know that you could catch good fish, on the beach. And he was like, yeah, you can catch good fish out here. And so I asked the magic question. I said, well, why you didn't bring your pole? And he looked at my sister, and she looked at him, and he dropped his head. He dropped his head. Lynette said I couldn't go fishing. Lynette said I couldn't go fishing no more because she said, it's like he couldn't wait to snitch on her. He couldn't wait to have somebody that's on his side. And I always take his side because she my sister, and I know she the boss of everybody. And so I'm like, girl, if you, I'll just be like, Jordan, blink twice and I got you, bruh. I got you. He love it. He got to love it because they've been together since they was teenagers. But he looked at her after I asked that, and she looked at him, and she did this, and he dropped this. Lynette said I can't go because I've been fishing 3 days in a row. I was like, Nettie, what's wrong with that? She was like, no, that is not the whole truth. Technically, he's been fishing 7 whole days. She was like, we went to the Keys last weekend. We were there for 3 days. We took the boat. He fished all those 3 days. She was like, we came back that Sunday. Monday, he went fishing. Tuesday, he went fishing. Wednesday, he went fishing. Now, to mind you, they left for the Keys that previous Thursday. So he had been fishing from Thursday to almost Thursday before she stopped in and said, hey, 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 hey. And I was like, all right, Jordan. Well, you did the most now. You did the most. Because she be, they got 3 kids. And their youngest son, him alone is 3 more kids. And so I just was like, no, Jordan, that is excessive. So that's what made me think of Papoose, because he just, he just laughed. And yes, I actually was like, because when she said that, I was like, oh, so that means y'all deep freezer is full. You done caught all this fish and wasn't gonna invite us over for a fish fry, because he can cook when he get in that kitchen, and he always fries a whole big variety. Yes, he got snapper, he got redfish, and that's my favorite. Redfish, he got all kind of the fish, all of the fish, freshwater fish, saltwater fish, you name it. And I was like, oh, so that means y'all freezer is looking thick. Y'all was going to have a fish fry without us. Y'all was going to fry that fish without me, wasn't you? I done told y'all about that last year. So that's when he was like, no, we've been busy. And he was saying sometime in the next couple of weeks, we'll get together over there and he'll fry the fish. But that's what made me think of Papoose, because in the Remy Ma and Clarissa of it all, and I imagine Papoose is kind of like my brother-in-law, and my brother-in-law is kind of like my granddad. He wasn't a Taurus, but he's an Aries. He's an April Aries. Well, March Aries. I take that back. And he has a family full of women. It's a lot of us and very few men. And he just always he ain't have no homeboys. He ain't have friends he hung out with. My granddaddy was always home with a bunch of women in his face, fussing, getting on his nerves, bossing him around, worrying over him, all of that. And he just would sit there. And, he was a very simple man. He didn't want much. He didn't talk much. But every now and then you glance over him out there in that chair, and there'd be a slight smirk on his face and a twinkle of his eyes. He'd look around at all the chaos of all these women, and whatever man there is in the family, we bossing them around. Sometimes you could look back and you could tell he loved it. I mean, my granddaddy had a boat and he named it Adina. And out of all 28 of his grandkids, when he passed away, There was two things in his wallet. One of those was a picture of me. So so I imagine they really love it. They love it. They love it because they don't have no friend. My sister husband, he don't have homeboys either. When he hang out, he want to hang up under my sister. They do a lot together. They do a lot of stuff with the kids, and then they do a lot of date nights. So I love that. But that's what made me think of Papoose because he's caught in between two really strong women. And for a moment, he was just like, "Hey, now." Once Remy started playing with his manhood, she started yanking at his kahunas and saying, "They aren't kahunas, they're cashews." That's when he crashed out online and was like, hold on, these kahunas weren't cashews, you know, from this date to this date when any other man would have left you high and dry. So I just wanted to check in on Papoose. Anybody ever check in on the men? Anybody ever check in on the quiet ones? Thank you, Sexy Sassy. I went to my niece's kindergarten graduation and I had some appointments, some meetings today. So this is me in business attire. It's actually a pantsuit, Fashion Nova. I got it a couple years ago. So thank you. All right. Jasmine, he fishes. And we let him fish because we like to eat it. But Thursday to Thursday, I mean, sir. Okay. Yes, we took her to Golden Corral and she left. I mean, not Golden Corral, Cracker Barrel. And she left with $30. One man, and there was a bunch of old people in there before we sat down. A lot of people start bringing their kids, but there was an older gentleman sitting there with his wife before they left. He came over and gave her $20. And it was an older gentleman. He was by himself, but before he left, he came over and slid $10 on the table, took his hat off and said, "Congratulations, little lady." It was so cute. And then all the little other graduates came in. Y'all, I cried, okay? And it had nothing to do with my niece. I cried as soon as the little kids start marching in because they were so little. And from where I was sitting, I could barely see them. All I can see was little heads. And they were singing. I'm finna cry right now, y'all. I get real tender about kids and stuff. They were singing this little song when they were coming in, and they came in twos in a little line, and they were holding hands, and they were all dressed up. Oh my, it was so cute. Dina love the kids. It was so cute. It was so adorable. They were so cute. And then they all got up there on stage, and then they did a couple of little songs and performed. They all were adorable. They were just so cute, every last one of them. And they're kindergartners, so not all of them were able to hold it together. They had to get their little diploma, walk across this little bridge, stop in the bridge, take a picture. A lot of them kids took pictures like this. A lot of them just zoomed across that bridge because it was too many people in the audience, and I imagine they couldn't deal. Nyla, my niece, then she waved because I was waving. She had to wave to her fans in the audience. It was so adorable. There was a lady behind me that was sobbing. It was so sad. It was so funny. She was sobbing, like I mean, snot crying. And when her little son, he had a little mohawk and a mohawk mullet. He was the little rock star. Um, she went ham. I looked around and there were a lot of tears in there. The little officer, the resource officer that works there, she stepped out. And then the principal was like, "Well, I think we lost our officer. She's going to be crying today and tomorrow because they have to do it for the fifth graders tomorrow." She stepped out. It was so funny. Everybody in there was crying over those babies. But yeah, that's where I was, 8 o'clock this morning. And it was a great way to start off my day with my niece. As soon as she got off stage, forget her mother and her grandma and her Papa Doe. TT Dina! Because the auntie is the baby. In my Jocelyn words. All right, let's look at Papoose. Most High Mother and Father God, thank you for my niece. And thank you for all the little kindergartners and fifth graders and all the other graduates who are graduating. I got some high schoolers graduating this weekend. My sister, my niece's mom, graduated a couple of weekends ago, and then her daughter graduated kindergarten. So it's like Black excellence, Black girl magic running in my family right now. And I'm so overjoyed. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for so many blessings that make me feel so abundant. Thank you for these people who are here with me that make me feel blessed and abundant. Thank you for YouTube that allows me to be here and chat with these people and spread love. That's what a real mob do. Keep it gangster. Look out for my people. Please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Papoose. Don't know his real name, but Papoose. I ain't gonna post all the way up sexy sassy because I don't feel like standing up in this bed. It'll shake the computer. Yep, nobody else matters. The TT is the mama. Fun fact, I am my nephew's first crush. It started a long time ago when they were like 3. My first nephew, when he was 3 and 4, that's when he started to get fresh. He's a Leo, and he has these dreamy eyes with long, long eyelashes. And I noticed he would gaze at me with those lashes, and then the little dreamy look, and then he'd blush, run outside, pick me a flower weed, TTD, and he's always had a very deep voice. So he talks just like this. TTDina, I picked you a flower. One time I told him he hurt my feelings, and instead of saying sorry, he came and did like this to my face, gave me a hug, and then ran off. I was like, but yesterday, when I took off my bathing suit cover and ran out there into the water, because I wasn't really trying to be cute. I had every intention on swimming yesterday. I wanted to be in the water. As soon as I got out there, the boys were out there. TT Dina, want to know what my favorite color is? I said, what? Red. Then his little brother, TT Dina, my favorite color is red like your bathing suit. And black and blue. Now, I done heard their favorite color be black and blue before, but red, they so fresh. I said, get the fuck from around me. Talking about y'all favorite color red like my bathing suit. Yes, get away from me. It is TT Dina. This is not acceptable. I've been telling him that for years. And now his little brother done picked up on it. Because his brother do everything he do. Please get these kids. This little Leo, he's so fresh. All right. Papoose, what's going on with you currently? You're stuck in between 2 boxers. Because I believe Remy has hands, not Clarissa's hands. Her hands have firepower. Remy's, Clarissa's are legalized weapons. So either way it goes, you strap between 2 women. You stuck between 2 women who are strapped and lethal. One don't mind pew-pewing. The other one, if she hits you, you might visit glory. Papoose, how are you doing in the midst of it all, in the thick of it? In the thick of it? Now, if I had to put the camera on my cousin Talia with that wagon on her back, y'all would have been like, what? Dina who? That thing. She didn't take off her cover until we were getting ready to leave. And she was like, well, I was a little, because there's so many people out here, but you've been walking around with your ass out. I was like, girl, we at the beach. And these Latinas and white women got on thongs. We in Florida. But in Florida, listen, Some people be like, you supposed to cover up at the pool or places where his kids gonna be, but in Florida, nobody is on that. Nobody's even looking at people sexually like that because it's hot and we're almost an island. So people expect, like, you have to expect people to be in bathing suits and bikinis. So I was like, we're at a beach and your butt is gonna turn anything into a thong. So I mean, you got a big old butt. You can't help that. What you gonna do? Wear pants? It's still gonna be big. It's just gonna be hot. Girl, bye. All right, Papoose, what's going on with you? I think Papoose had a drop mic moment when he exposed that Remy Ma did not file for divorce first. I think that was his ha moment. You doing all that talking, but ha, gotcha, embarrassed you. How you trying to embarrass me? Ha, you're a liar. You're a fibber. Ha, you didn't file. You're trying to make it seem like you filed and I'm thirsty. I filed. You didn't. And he's right to do that. I mean, because she spent 3 days, they spent 3 days foaming at the mouth, but Remy was really foaming, I think. The next day she came back with like her hair done, her makeup. Now I have an opinion that I reserve as my opinion and my opinion only, and that is that Remy Ma was really enjoying having like a moment that she felt like was going to be viral and feeling like the celebrity in it. Like I noticed that in her first live, she was going in and then she was like, stop calling me. They probably telling me to get off live. And then she was like, oh no. And it was just like, it was almost like she wanted somebody to be calling her and telling her to get off live because she's that girl. But she was like, oh no. So nobody was calling her to tell her to get off live and stuff like that. I picked that up and I was just like, it seems like that's what she's enjoying this moment. And she was doing a lot of flexing, like, I pay for this, I pay for this. Basically, I'm that girl. And that's what made me feel like in my other reading that her head was definitely boosted up when she got out and they decided to get behind her and push her because female rap is in. Somebody asking me for my pussy power tea blend. But and then the next day, after she saw how her initial crash out went and got posted everywhere, the next day she came back. Her hair was, a little fixed. She had on makeup. She was, reading comments and stuff like that. And like, I get a crash out, but like, it gave like, this is my moment to be that girl. Like, yes, I'm that girl. What you say in my comments? I know, right? Yes. What you said? Yeah. Huh? What? Stop. Why would I stop? What you mean stop? it gave it gave that. And then it's like I'm doing a lot of flexing right now. And I'm winning right now because the public is behind me. The public is like, yeah, Remy, you the wife. How dare Papoose? How dare Remy? Mind you, we all just conveniently forgot that Papoose held that lady down. She got out and married him. So what? If he humped somebody while she was in there, if I was in prison doing time and my man chose to hold me down and wait for me to get out, the least I could do is be like, babe, listen, I hope by you holding me down, that don't mean you gonna hold yourself back. By all means, stand by me, but you ain't got to do that. Now we human. I don't even want you to lie to yourself to tell yourself that you're not gonna be 6 years. You should go get some tonight. Just go get some tonight. Just it'll probably help you grieve. Since you choosing to be here for me until I get out, then when I get out, you're gonna be there. Make sure you, because I'm gonna be clean in here, so make sure you be clean. you know? And 6 years later, if you still choosing to stick by me, that's a blessing. I'll take you. I will take you, and I will cherish you. Women do that sometimes, but barely. But men, so if he's feeling I feel like, and then she was just like, "Yeah, I've been wanting you to get a divorce, but you won't." But the moment he was like, "Actually," and I told you guys because I've been through a divorce that I did. I did my own divorce paperwork. I've did someone else's divorce paperwork for them as well. I advised Natasha through her divorce as well because I did my own divorce. And the first time we tried to do the simplified dissolution, which doesn't require you to serve them, that's basically you and this person choosing to amicably, without the courts. It's like before the courts, we already know what we're going to split, what we're going to do. And all we're doing is signing off that we agree on this plan. That's a simplified dissolution. Well, I tried doing that because the first time I brought up the divorce, my ex husband was so mad. Mind you, he asked for the separation. We were separated 6 months before I said, let me just close this door because he planned. I tried to wait on him, but I think that's what it is, a no contest. That's what it was, I think. But then, oh yeah, we did it. I tried to do the no contest divorce first. And I think he was so mad when I said, let me just, I'm just gonna do a divorce. We've been separated for 6 months. He had it in his mind that when he was ready, he was gonna, come back. But I had already got settled in my new life and start, feeling really empowered by myself. So I think he was so mad that he was like, fine. Because I was like, I'm not going to take anything that I have legal rights to simply because we got them as gifts. The house that we live in, his father kind of gave us that at that house. I could have taken it, but I didn't. The boat, his dad gave us a boat. Um, and so even though I had rights to it, yes, my name, I was on all the papers and everything because they were gifts. That was his only son. And he felt like as a man, who's just getting married and starting a life, and his father felt like his family was accustomed to a certain living standard. So his son, as a man, if he's taken up a wife, he should too be able to provide the same kind of life that he provided. His son should do the same thing, but we were young, and so he definitely gave us a house and a boat. And no, not a little boat. This boat had an apartment on the bottom, a bed, a kitchen. It was very nice. It was a very nice life. Um, but that's why I didn't choose to take those things with me because they came from his family. And what kind of woman would I be? I took, what I had worked for, and my husband and I had separate accounts already. We had a joint account and we had separate accounts because I always worked. And there were times when I out earned him. There were times when he out earned me. And so he was just like, we were fine with that actually. Everything worked out that way. I don't mind paying for stuff. And the things that I don't like paying for, like gas and car washes. And he was a mechanic, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I hate paying for gas for some reason. I don't want to pay for gas. I don't mind pumping it. I just don't want to pay for it. Car washes. I live on a dirt road right now. The car has to get washed every week. I don't want to pay for that shit. Those are things I don't want to pay for, but I'm a girl who doesn't mind, I don't mind, because I'm my own responsibility. But I didn't when I think he agreed to it because he was mad. So I was like, okay, great. I signed it. I sent it to him. He's supposed to sign it, send it back to me, and then I send it to the courts. We get a court date. The judge says, do, bye. But then his true feelings came out. I never got that paper back. He never signed it. And I actually waited a couple of months because I felt like maybe this is heavy. We're getting a divorce. We've been together since we were 18 and 19. We're getting a divorce, and we're 32, 33 at the time. So I get it. Even though he chose to end our marriage and I just chose to finalize it, I get it. It was tough for me, and he held on to the idea that he can come back when he was ready. So I grieved when he asked for the separation. By the time I asked for a divorce and actually got around to filing the papers like a year later, he was salty. So he never signed like we agreed to. Okay, so I wait a month before I say, hey, what's up with the paperwork? He wouldn't say anything about it. I go another month. After 90 days, after about 3 months, I was like, okay, all right. If I want this done, then I'm going to have to do it. And I didn't want to pay the $450, but I was like, F it. However, I filed a simplified dissolution and then they waived the fee. So all I paid was like 10 or 20 cents for copies. But in that case, once he didn't want to agree to it, then I had to cancel. I had to let the courts know to cancel that first court case because as soon as I filed, even though we were supposed to do the no contest, they still gave us a case number. When that no contest wasn't working and I had to go back and file for the simplified dissolution because that would have given me a different case number and we already had an open case, the courts had to X out that first one because it had a case number. You guys get where I'm going? So when Papoose showed, it doesn't matter if he showed 10 minutes ago that he filed for a divorce. His point was to show that she lied and she's trying to flex on him and make it seem like he's pining for her and he's trying to hold her hostage in a marriage that she doesn't want to be in when he could not have filed an initial filing for her and him if there was already an open filing that she initiated. He would have had to enter their case number, and even that screenshot would have looked differently because it would have had Remy Ma's name at the top as the plaintiff, and then the defendant would have been Papoose beneath. Even in a no contest, even in a no contest, because she was saying she was waiting on him to do his part, which means they were probably filing a no contest as well. He would have just been able to log in and provide a signature, and the case information that she initiated would have been what we have seen, not that he made an initial filing. And so that was his way of saying all of this stuff she's doing is pump faking because she didn't even really file for the divorce. And then people still clown him was like, oh, you just did it yesterday. That's not the point he was making. But I called it Papoose. Eight of Wands in reverse is the challenge, the online activity. I think he kind of regrets it now. I think he regrets engaging with her online, but she pissed him off. She triggered him. And this tells me that there was some slowed down activity between them in this divorce. Before Remy Ma turned his kahunas into cashews online, I think there would have been a chance for them to reconcile. If she walked away from her people and really said, I want this marriage back, this family back, he would have to. Neither one of us, neither one of them have filed. She didn't, he didn't, which tells me since Remy was the first one that we knew of that had someone new, that she probably was the one who didn't want to be in it anymore, but didn't really want to step out because she knew that as long as Papoose was sitting there, and she probably felt like Papoose is never going to go anywhere. So I can have my fun, and if I choose to come back, he'll still be there. It wasn't until he got Clarissa. She mentioned that there had been others before, but we had never seen him. The first person we've seen him with is Clarissa. And then that's when all the haberdashery started. So, yes, I do think that there was some sloth activity, some sluggish activity on his filing. And I think it was that case on hers too. I think there was a possibility if Remy, since she was the one who seemed to fracture this marriage in a way where they got separated, because we saw her with someone first, publicly, and we saw him talking about Papoose and his raps before Papoose said anything or came out with anyone. So I'm not choosing sides. I am looking at the situation and saying, okay, so I can see why this situation is. He was probably, he probably was waiting on her. And up until she emasculated him online in her crash out. And even if people feel like she was justified or not, and I'm one of the ones who don't, because I've been triggered. And actually, I would think that what happened to fracture my marriage is worse because I mean, some of you guys have heard that before. So I feel like I could have crashed out, but I didn't because that's so messy and I'm just not messy. So we can say that she's right for being emotional, and that's true. Everybody gets emotional, but if you can look at people who have had similar situations and they've practiced self restraint, then you cannot say it's a fact that an emotional person is right to crash out because there are a lot of emotional people who go through things worse than what Remy Ma have, even in divorce and separation. Her significant other could have been cheating on her with a man. That would cause a righteous crash out. So that's why I said you don't have to crash out, especially if there are family members involved. And she even stated that her family still liked Papoose. And I think about those kind of things and I think about myself because I'm not finna be out here crashing out, foaming at the mouth, looking stupid. I like to be graceful about things, but this is just my opinion. And I feel like it's more peaceful. And I'm not one who likes chaos, even in my emotions. I'd rather withdraw to handle my emotions in peace so that I don't taint anyone else with whatever negative emotions. Because why would I want to? I know hurt people hurt people. When I was hurt, I isolated for many, many, many years. I still haven't had a boyfriend since my divorce. And that's not to say that I'm still healing, but I'm in a place of peace. I'm open to things, but my emotions are balanced. And so I'm not in a place where I'm seeking anything, not another trauma bond because of what I've lost in my marriage. Not anyone to pacify anything in me, not anyone to, you know, I like things because if we were to, get together, it's peaceful for the both of us and it's mutually beneficial. And I don't want to bring anyone pain because I don't want anyone to bring me pain and baggage. So as long as I know I have baggage, even in my emotions, I'm not going to date and risk giving someone else trauma. I'm not going to be online and stuff like that. I'm not going to put myself in positions where I can publicly be triggered because I have a little bit of pride about myself. And I don't like for people to see me sweat. If y'all see me emotional, it's about these kids graduating kindergarten today. So, past position, again, I think that he didn't know what was going to happen between him, but he didn't make a between them, but he was still open for a minute until he got a girlfriend because I think he looked at Remy Ma and saw her living her very best life and was like, well, she looks happy out here in these streets. And does she not? Did she not give us that I'm happier with my new man? He makes this, he has this. So can we blame for Papoose for looking at her with this new man and also being like, she looks happy. She says she's happy. So I might as well move on now. And that's what he did. Even if they hadn't divorced yet, because I'm 38 or getting ready to be 38 and I've been divorced, it doesn't always happen overnight. It's not that easy. Doesn't matter what may logically make sense. Oh, we break up, divorce tomorrow. Imagine being with someone for, 20 years, 15, 20 years. You guys have built a whole life. You guys' life is entwined with each other, families, things like that. And it's difficult. You got to work through the grief before you even get to the courthouse part. And then there's always this gray area right in the first few months. Now, it didn't seem like that for Remy and Papoose because she was outside. She was enjoying her new body. She was enjoying having men being desirable in a way that I don't believe she was before she went to prison. I was there. People respected her for her rap, and they almost feared her for her masculinity. So I think that Papoose, when he felt like the door was closed for them, then he count his losses. But even with Clarissa, like I mentioned, up until recently, I think that if Remy were to completely go back home, then he would have followed her. Because I think the only reason he followed her out the door was because he saw that she went out the door and kept walking. And Papoose seems to be the more easygoing one that'll follow her flow, whatever she wants. If you want to be together, we'll be together. If you don't, I'll try to see if this is just a phase for you. And if I see that you're loving it, then I might as well cut my losses. That's what I did. Shit. And I wish somebody would have judged me for going and getting some 6 months after my separation. I sure did. And I wish somebody would have had something to say. I wish. Now, people don't know my business, but my family, but they was like, girl, you better than me. Because it just was, it was weird. I was hurt. And then there was a point, even knowing what I knew about my ex-husband, because we had been together for so long, 13 years, I was so, I was just like, what am I going to do? What is my life going to be like now? Like, this is my life. This is my house, my boat, my friends, my business is here, my career. What the fuck? What do you mean you want me to go and stay with my mama for a while in Ocala? And we live in Lauderdale, where I've been for the past decade plus. And that's what he said. I think you should just go stay with your mama for it's my name is on this stuff. But I'm a lady. I broke down. I didn't crash out. I broke down. And yes, I begged, don't do this. Like, what do you need? Even if it's for me to let you cheat on me for a limited time to see if you really want to do this. I was there. Don't do this. I'm your like I was so out of it because I'm like, wait, this is Dina and Terry. Like, what do you mean? I couldn't even register that he was for real. I tried to give him some. He let me. And then he said, I hope you know that this isn't going to change anything. I was devastated. But when he went to work the next day, I waited till he went to work. And then I gathered everything in that house that was only mine. That was only mine. Things I bought, not even the stuff that I bought for us, not stuff I bought for the house. Fortunately, my family has this house to come to because it's bought and paid for. So if anybody falls on hard times, they have somewhere. And that's exactly what I had to utilize. And I've been here because ain't no mortgage. And I've been able to build my life back up after that. And I'm in a very, 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 very great place now, in a better place than when I was married. So I understand that lack of time in between the initial separation, and it may be a year or two before the divorce is filed, and people may be dating at that time. And there may not even be any communication between them two. Like sometimes people separate and completely move on because nobody actually wants to pay for divorce and stuff. Sometimes they need to save up some money after you separate and then go to try to live your own life before you get into a place where you can start paying for a divorce. You thinking about survival first. And sometimes people do get Sometimes people do move on and kind of start dating each other. That's what happened here. So it just wasn't filed, but I do think that Papoose was waiting to see what Remy was going to do. Papoose is done because he feels emasculated, I believe. Like there's no more leg for him to stand on. She may have hurt him in a way that he can't recover from. I'm sorry, Shakita. I try to provide context so that people understand the energy that's present. I'm sorry if I got too long winded. Um, he's done. This card is about perseverance. Despite going through things, I'm wounded, but I persevere. That perseverance is gone. I do think so. That's why I explained it when I did, because it gives context into the mentality um, for both of them. And this was him waiting at first to see, what was really going to happen. He was willing to kind of not file and make things final to see, become illuminated about what Remy was going to do. But then after she emasculated him, he had no choice now. Now it's like, now I see. And so now I have to get up. No chance that he's coming back for her unless it's for his child. And if she said that he's refusing to see his child and she's painting a deadbeat allegation, I don't see that. I actually see this being a concern of his moving forward. Now that he's filed and I think he feels like she might be bitter. I think that he feels like it might be a challenge moving forward of him being a present father like he would like to be. The only thing he'd like to do with her from now on is take care of their child. But I think that he feels like now that he's filed and she's bitter and even a little bit embarrassed, maybe, I think he feels like it's going to be a challenge now for him to be as present as he would like to be. And the Knight of Pentacles is on a journey and he's determined to fill it. He's the most dependable and reliable knight in the deck. He's not trying to be the king anymore because that would mean Remy's husband. All he wants to do is hold this pentacle in his hand, which is his child. But in reverse, he feels like it may be a challenge for him to do so. And that's unfortunate. Three of Cups in reverse, I think that he feels like Remy Ma got the upper hand on social media. And I think that he feels villainized on social media. I actually think that he's hurt more about how social media has forgotten his role in Remy's life. It's almost like these were my people. These were people who supported me, who actually believed that I was a good guy. But it seems like they're all turning against me as if I wasn't a good guy. A good guy. Wasn't they just calling us black love and goals? Now all of a sudden I'm bad. I think he's hurt by social media and their opinion of him. External to this is the man that he felt like he couldn't compete with. And this man may not be as turned on to Remy as he was before all of this. Because now the pressure, at first it was fun, but now the pressure is going to be on him to be her man now. And I don't think that the King of Wands is not a long time. He's a good time. Now, I think the pressure of her falling out with her ex-husband and now they're getting the divorce. Now Remy's looking at him like, now you're my man. You gotta be. And he's like, shit, this was fun when we was flexing on Papoose. This was fun when we were sneaking around, but now that you're free to date me, now you're gonna want to date. Now you're gonna look for a replacement Papoose. I don't think he wants to be that to Remy. Tower moment in his hopes and fears. And that happened for him. His fear happened. Outcome. Now, her outcome when I read her was divorce. The Hierophant, the Hierophant in reverse. For him, the Ace of Wands, because he took the initial action, and the result for her was the actual divorce. So though these two are done, the outcome for Papoose in the matter of him and Remy Ma is that he filed for divorce and he's going to follow it through. And the outcome for Remy Ma and the Remy Ma and Papoose saga is that she didn't. She left him first. He solidified it, but I think she wanted that door to be open, like I mentioned my ex-husband did. When she was done having fun with this guy, if things didn't work out with this guy, she would go home. But now home is gone. And Papoose is her. I think this has been a new learning experience for him. This Ace of Wands, he made the filing, but I think all of this is new for him. A new experience, especially to see how he was treated. Now, ironically, I don't have any cards in here that represent Clarissa. None. And so I don't think that she's that much of a factor. And right now, if Clarissa is smart, she would disengage any activity, even if between the two of them, they feel like they are right. For Papoose's sake, I would disengage any activity because I would know that he's probably grieving and hurting. So I would focus on either one, giving him some space, or two, seeing if he needs my support as a woman. I agree, sexy sassy. I think he would have stayed there though until she went on social media and emasculated him. Now, I think that he wouldn't have filed for divorce until she triggered it. I think he was waiting on her to make the first move, but then she emasculated him. And like I mentioned, for Papoose, him being seen as a good man, because I do believe he tried to be, I don't think that he, as a man, respects her trying to tear him down in the public like that, calling him broke, saying that he never contributed or anything. Like I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that as a woman. I just can't. But that's just my personal opinion, and it seems like Papoose agreed. The moment she tried to stunt in front, like she filed, he was like, "Wait a minute!" And then she didn't just say she filed; she elaborated. We got to do mediation and stuff, and he's like, "What? We might have talked about filing. Maybe when she was on one, mad at him and stuff, she might have, I don't know why you don't file. All you got to do is da 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 da." I think it may have happened like that. But he's like, she didn't. I agree, Jess. I don't think he enjoys doing this on social media. That's not his thing. And the worst happened for him because social media was Team Remy. I agree, Kevin. I said that in the last live. Women know that. As a woman, I'm not going to be obtuse to that. And I'm not going to be here and lie because if we keep playing mind games with each other, power games, power struggles, then we're not going to heal. And I stand for healing. So, yes, women know where to hurt you. We know. We know from the rip. We know. And while we're lovey dovey, that part of you we protect. But when a woman is in her emotions, chaos ensues sometimes if she doesn't know how to practice restraint and self discipline. And that's where the nasty stuff comes. And she knew exactly where to hit him. And that's where I say I don't agree, because she knows that he values himself as a supportive good man. And I do believe that he felt like the actions he took in his career, I do believe he felt like men right now are not popping in rap. Women are. When she gets out, we can invest into her and she can pop. And I'll act as like her manager. And he said I was doing the contracts, I was arranging the things, I was writing. So at that point, he was her A&R manager, and she was just the talent. He helps her write, she goes record. She's the artist. And I think that's fair because any other manager is going to collect their percentage from the artist. So the saying that he doesn't have a job, if he's doing her contracts, if he's negotiating behind the scenes, and Papoose was an artist, so I absolutely believe a respected one, a respected lyricist. So I do believe that he was arranging things, helping the business behind the scenes as a man, as sometimes only a man can do, and investing into her as the artist and letting her shine. And I don't think that he was asking, but I do think that he was expecting her to be as loyal as he was, and not him having to ask for us a percentage. Her just, put in an account, or this is yours. Da, da, da. I would do it that way. But I'm a partnership kind of girl. And so if I seem biased towards the man, it's not biased towards the man. It's biased to business and loyalty. Because remember, Remy did 20 years in prison. And Fat Joe and Terror Squad, who she was signed to and who put her on before she got locked up, had no career to give her when they didn't have a Terror Squad to place her in when she got out. So Papoose put his power behind her, and she did come out and pop. She even popped with Sheether. She was at that Summer Jams. She was on Love and Hip Hop. She had more clout when she got out than she did before she went in. And Terror Squad is not responsible for that. I would think Papoose is, because Terror Squad wasn't popping when she got out. And so that's why I say it's not fair to say this man, it was worthless, he didn't have a job and all of this other stuff. I think that supporting his wife, who is an artist, was his job, especially if by supporting her means maneuvering in the industry, not just cooking and cleaning while she goes out. No, this was an industry man. So I believe that. And I don't, I'm actually glad that I'm curious why I don't see Clarissa, but I think, and that's why I said for Clarissa, I think right now, because I don't see her in this reading for the good or the bad, which is why I think she should fall back, maybe ask him, hey, I know you're going through a lot right now. So if you feel like you need some space, even in our relationship, I'm willing to give you that. And if he says, no, I don't need space, I just need you to chill. Okay. Fall all the way back and then turn on your nurturing energy. And the women know what that is. I'm not going to explain because they know. Turn that on because we know how to turn it on and off. Turn on that nurturing energy. Listen to him. Be attentive because he may not verbalize what he wants or what he needs or what space he's in at that moment. But just by you not being overbearing, kind of going with the flow and just watching, being attentive to him, not overbearing, but attentive, you will be able to find where this man is and you'll know what version of you to apply. Whether it's the sex kitten seductive version, whether he needs a little, nurturing, whether he needs a homegirl, a friend, you'll know if you just pay attention and kind of be quiet. Just be quiet. Be quiet and just listen and watch. Papoose isn't verbal, but he seems like he communicates through action. So if she's attentive, he might not speak, but she'll watch. And I think that because I'm observant and because I don't see her directly in this reading, that's why I came up to the conclusion I just did. By his energy, she's not here. So, Spirit, before I go, because I only have 15 minutes before I go, how does Papoose currently feel about Clarissa Shields? I think that's her last name, Shields, Fields. And I also don't like that picture of her that somebody said Remy Ma posted being shared by Black blogs so that she can get picked on. I think I'm going to unfollow the 3 blogs that I follow. Well, I think I only follow Shade Room and Neighborhood Talk. I'm going to unfollow them because I almost said something in the comments. I almost say, may everybody in here acquire the intentions that they deserve in these comments, because I don't think that's fair. I think that is bullying, and I don't like it. I don't like it when they do it to anybody at all. I don't like setting people up to be publicly humiliated when you have millions of followers. I don't like that shit. I don't like it. And I see the play, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to start a fight with people for doing what they are built to do. So I'll remove myself. And I'm going to remove myself. Because if that's I can't. And it makes me sick to my stomach. And I'm at the point now where I would like to see us start evolving. And I'd like to see some real evolution happen amongst us, even in our community. So I'm going to start calling out even the bullshit in our community. And ain't nobody going to like it. But I don't care. Even my own. Spirit, how does Papoose currently feel about Clarissa Shields? Yeah, that shit is weird. He thinks she's doing too much publicly, too much damage. It's hurting him. It's causing too much beef with Remy. He doesn't like it. Clarissa, I know that when people, I know that you're not listening to anybody right now. I hope you're listening to Papoose. This man needs time to heal and grieve. This isn't even an emotional card. This is a please stop. Clarissa, you don't have Papoose. You're not in a relationship with him anymore. This isn't a breakup card, so I'm not saying they're not. Energetically, no. She's doing all this fighting for a man that cannot emotionally appreciate it because he's trying to heal and grieve. He can appreciate you being this strong Black woman having his back. Clarissa, be quiet, please. For Papoose's sake, if you're a friend, if you want to keep your little friend. She's doing it because she doesn't like, now she has good intentions. She doesn't like the fact that he's been devalued because she sees him as a good man. So she's doing this to take up for him. But you got to stop. Because after this man has been emasculated, the last thing he needs is his girlfriend threatening to beat up his enemy. His ex-wife at that. Not when his girlfriend is a world-class boxer and his wife just emasculated him. And his girlfriend is now saying, don't touch my man. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your... In her deep, like, girl, you're emasculating him too. He just finished trying to fight for himself, and then he finished it with the divorce. You didn't need to say anything else after that, little girl. Because I'm in your energy. I ain't talking about age-wise. No, your energy gives me green. And that's okay, because you've been focused on becoming a champion. So I get it. You ain't been focused on being a girlfriend and being worldly. But baby, you're emasculating him too. She devalued him, but now you're saying that he can't even stick up for himself. You got to stop. Papoose is going to sneak off like a thief in the night from this relationship. He's not confrontational. So I don't think he's going to just outwardly break up with her. He might be a little scared of her ass, and not saying physically, but because he knows something about her mind state. He feels like she would probably crash out, maybe be obsessive or something, stalkerish, and he's not confrontational. So instead of flat out breaking up with her, he's going to just start becoming distant, Clarissa. He's going to sneak out of this relationship. He's going to sneak out. And Papoose, this tells me a little bit about you too. I've been trying to cut you some slack because I get it, but you got to man up. You got to man up because that's how you keep getting in relationship with man up women. They balance you out. You will seek out what you lack, even subconsciously. What are you so scared of? You got hands. I'm curious about his childhood or something. Because you have got to stop being so confrontational to your women. Is it because what makes you want so bad to be seen as this version of a good man that you become a pushover? There has to be a healthy balance, Papoose. You become a pushover trying to be a good man. You play yourself. You gotta have some self-respect for yourself, Papoose. And you know what I think? I think that when your career didn't take off, I think that made you question your own value and your own worth. Which is why instead of hustling to get your career back, it was easier for you to say, okay, female rappers are on right now, so it'll be easier for me to push Remy. I think that probably broke your confidence when you didn't take off as a rapper or when your career in the industry failed. I think that made you have some self-worth issues. And a man with self-worth issues may end up with these type of women who bring all the worth to the table. Through them, he can kind of see his self-worth. He's a Pisces. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Yep. Yep. Sorry, but yep. Yep. Not that kind, but a fairy. Very, very dainty. Energetically. Oh, that just helped me because I was like, why? Why isn't he showing up? Where's the water? Where's the water in these cards? Because I know it has to be somewhere. This man is tender for some reason, but no, I think he has self-worth issues and he sees his worth in making his significant other successful. And that would only happen if him being successful in the industry or in his own career choice, if he failed in that, that would make him feel like he's not good enough. But he gets a girlfriend who's an artist, and it just so happens that his contribution to his girlfriend actually pays off. So now he associates his worth with an administrative role. So he seeks out bosses so that he can be the assistant because his experience being the boss probably hurt him. Papoose, you need a consultation because this is fixable. This is fixable. And he felt good being the one to file first, and he's going to go through it for the sake of his manhood, which is why I said until she got online, there was a possibility. She emasculated him. I think that's his Achilles heel because maybe the industry did that already when his talent didn't carry him. Maybe his business acumen Didn't work for him, but it works good when he's in a administrative role, when he's supporting someone else. That's easier to hide behind someone else, especially if you're still wounded from your failure. Papoose, you got to come out of the hiding. And I think this situation is a lesson for you. It's God's way of bringing you out of the hiding, bringing you out, dragging and kicking. Now your wounds are on full display, not just for you, but for the world. You almost have no choice but to start healing. Now you can choose to revert, but you need to start healing. And I think him sneaking out of this relationship with Clarissa is his way of baby stepping into healing and asserting himself. Filing for divorce was the first, and he's going to see it through for his masculinity. Sneaking away from Clarissa is also his way. He's free from Remy. He's going to free himself from Clarissa because he sees her now as being another Remy because she's doing too much. Life lesson learned through this divorce. And he'll see it through. My only thing is, Papoose, stop sneaking out of relationships or stop letting yourself be played so that you don't have to be the first one to make the change, to bring the tower moment. Because in this tower moment, you should have made it. When she stepped out, you should have left. When they start playing in your face and she was allowing him to disrespect you in the rap battles, you should have filed then. Your masculinity should have filed then instead of letting you get played with. And Spirit said enough. So now you're going to have to eat the consequences of you allowing yourself to be played with so that you don't have to create a tower moment because you're still probably wounded from a previous tower moment in your life. It's time to heal, because if not, you'll keep repeating these cycles with the same type of women. Same script, different cast. So now your wounds are on full display in a way that you can't hide behind someone anymore because the public can see them. You can see them. You need to heal whatever your trauma was that makes you afraid to bring a tower moment down for yourself, because the tower was crumbling. The tower moment happened when Remy came out with that guy. But because you were trying to avoid a full-on confrontation and a life change, because I feel like you felt like, now what? You felt like I did. Now what? My whole life was this woman. Now what? Then you needed someone else to pour that energy into. So you got with Clarissa instead of pouring it into yourself and saying, fuck that, I'm Papoose and I have skills. And you do. But you got to believe in yourself just as much as you believe in everybody else's skills. And sometimes that requires taking a risk, falling down. But Papoose, get up. Get up. All right. That's what Big Mama has here. I knew this reading was going to go something like that. And I got to go, you guys. I got to Zoom. So love you. Bye. How do I end this? Oh, in stream.